On this episode of BTV, we have an exclusive interview with new Mayor Lily Wu. We take a look at the new TVs in classrooms and the success of the dive team this year. All of this and more on this episode of BTV.
Welcome back to the Sports Newscast. I'm your co-anchor, William Sandlin.
And I'm your anchor, Jack Elliott.
Recently, Wichita swore in a new mayor different than any of its history. BTV is the first news organization to get an exclusive interview with Mayor Wu. Reporter Jim Lamb tells us the story.
It is my honor to introduce to you the mayor of the city of Wichita.
This year, Wichita will have its first ever Asian female representative as mayor. Shout out to the Bear community.
It's the life experiences that brought me here today, and I really believe it's my Wichita story that has led me here, and I'm just really grateful to be able to serve our community.
Lily Wu is the first Asian descent and second woman to ever serve Wichita.
I believe that you can see it with this council in particular. We have diversity in age, diversity in experiences, and I really believe that we need to lean into that diversity that makes us different, but at the same time, we also know that we have one commonality, and we're all Wichitans.
Students are more inclined to pay attention as they feel represented more.
Someone from a background similar to mine, they'll understand like culture, like the culture and like how like certain things should be.
Definitely made me more inclined to what was going on in City Hall, and it feels nice to have someone who, even though I don't support all of her ideals, it feels nice to have someone who looks like me on City Hall.
Lily Wu is hoping to reach our goals by making our community more involved.
I definitely think that we have room to grow in terms of being more diverse and seeking the voices of our community. One of the things that I will be working on is better at communicating and engaging our community. You will see this council and myself out in the community engaging more voices from a diverse group of people, because we need more people to tell us how they think, and we need to listen to understand and then have solutions moving forward that help the common good.
For BTV, I am Jin Lam.
Thanks, Jin. We wish her well in her new role. Over the winter break, teachers received new Clear Touch TVs to replace the aging smartboards. Reporter Alex Baker gets hands-on to show us more.
After winter break, you may have noticed that giant TVs have suddenly appeared in classrooms all around the school.
Well, I think kind of first off, it's not a TV. It's really a giant tablet with all kinds of capabilities.
Many teachers at Southeast have come to appreciate the qualities of the new screens compared to the old smartboards.
My favorite things is the talk to text. That is a big benefit that I see that is helpful for a lot of my kids that are hearing and cannot hear clearly.
You can scroll back and forth like your home button, like where you pull up all the stuff you have running, and you can switch back and forth and have like 8 different things running all at once, and you can totally interact with it, have stuff open that you want, close stuff that you don't. You can have multiple tabs of different things, so it's literally just like running a tablet.
Although there are many positive aspects about the new technology, some teachers still have issues with them.
I haven't got the sound to work on them, so the sound is an issue, and then it just will randomly disconnect. Like right now it's disconnected, so I mean it just disconnects here and there, but really those are my main issues with it, is just the connection and the sound.
The Clear Touch TVs are a new way to get students engaged in class.
I get kids up more often. They come up and use it, they interact with it. So we'll put documents up there and people come look at it.
As time goes on, teachers will continue learning how to use their TVs and find ways for the technology to benefit their classes best. For BTV, I'm Alex Barker.
Thanks, Alex. The new TVs have really changed the learning experience. Have you ever wanted to eat lunch with the new principal? Reporter Nate Gueststring tells us how.
At the start of the new semester, the admin got a little hungry for increased student involvement.
Administration came up with the Taste of Southeast Award. During the summer, we were talking about how we could recognize students for doing the right things.
Teachers can nominate students for their behavior in and out of the classroom. Those students then have a chance to go out to eat with the principal.
Well, my officers have done a really good job this year, and I thought that they were really outstanding, and They are juniors and seniors, and they've worked really hard, so I was happy to have them. And if we have another one, I plan to nominate other seniors that have not been nominated yet.
Students are appreciative of being recognized for their behavior, and they also enjoy the food.
Miss Cooper's really nice, and then she bought us like mini pizzas that we could all take, which was just extra. So we got to take home. I got 3 mini pizzas because Lydia gave me hers, Corbin gave me his, and I got my own. So I got 3 of them.
At first, like hearing about it, it was kind of intimidating because we were the first group of people to get picked, so it was something new, something that we hadn't really done before. But once we actually got there and got talking with her, it was all nice and fine.
And it's not just a one-time thing, but as many times as you can get nominated.
Absolutely. If you get nominated every 6 weeks, then you have the exact same chance as everybody else to get your name drawn in the drawing. Right? It's random.
Make sure you're doing the right thing. For BTV, I am Nathan Gestrer.
Thanks, Nate. Now I'm feeling hungry. Speaking of food, some clubs and teams volunteer to help sell items in the concession stands. Reporter Christopher Doe takes a look at how this benefits those involved.
Right now I'm handling drinks, so I'm moving around getting drinks for everyone that needs a drink.
Concession sales are offered during sporting events and at lunch.
We sell it at lunchtime, and we sell it for any home event, really. Soccer, basketball, football, track. We're doing wrestling, so a lot of events that we have here offered.
Concessions are obviously a good place to grab some food, but it's also a way to help support school clubs and groups.
We use it as like a fundraising type activity for people to volunteer to come and work. We buy the products, and then of course we charge enough to make money off of that. And of that money, we give the groups opportunities to sign up for it.
Concession helps our track team immensely. Each club and each team has an opportunity to do concessions for various sports throughout the year. This helps us provide food, gear, and outings, and of course at the end of the season, banquets for our club.
Some groups have found concessions to be a better way to raise money compared to things they've done in the past.
It is challenging because of today's financial situation. Fundraising gets difficult each year. Last year we did a hour-thon. We've also done cards. We've not done car washes yet.
Remember that every purchase made at the concession stand helps out your fellow students. For BTV, I'm Christopher Doe.
Thanks, Chris. The next time you're here at Southeast for a sporting event, come support your fellow Buffs at concessions. On this episode of Have You Heard, Eden goes around asking you Buffs what your worst Valentine experience is.
What's your worst Valentine's day ever? Like the worst Valentine's date, gift, whatever you've ever had?
This one time, this unnamed person that we won't talk about because we don't know this person. They gave me a singular gummy bear, not like the big ones though, just like a gummy bear, right? But it wasn't out of a pack. Like I watched her pick it up off the floor. Yeah, but she gave me a kiss on the cheek though. So
Pretty good trade. What'd you do with the gummy bear?
Oh, I ate it.
What's the worst Valentine's gift, day, or whatever you've ever received?
I haven't really received any gifts.
So dang. It's nothing?
It's nothing.
What's the worst Valentine's gift, day, or whatever you've ever received?
Getting rejected.
What's the worst Valentine's gift you've ever gotten?
The worst? Yeah. A melted box of chocolates.
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
I can tell.
You're sad. All right.
I ain't never had no Valentine's gift. Why is that, Cecil?
Look at me, y'all. I will never be able to be somebody's Valentine.
What's the worst Valentine's gift you've ever gotten?
A book of poetry. Who cares? That's right.
Avid seniors got to walk with a teacher who is an inspiration to them at the halftime of the girls' game against West on January 30th. This year's seniors are Debbie Alvarado, Jaina Arcila, Carlos Calderon, Annalise Cerda, Yeltz Cervantes, Vadis Coleman, Jennifer Frutinez Gonzalez, Nathalie Garcia, Dominic Hall, Sensory Johnson, Stephen Maya, Ian Martinez, Jacina Mean Chan, Ryan Newby, Harmony Smith, Atinas Thomas, Ty Tran, Lourdes Vogales Zila, Han Lee, Adrina Larges, and Jakaya Jones.
At the Scholastic Art Competition, 14 students won in photography, sculpture, drawing, and painting. Maya Belong Bartez, Malia Claire, Alan Dang, Christopher Doe, Kaden Gardner, Jesus Guzman, Caitlin Padanga, Dan Wynn, Laylan Sakem, Terry Tran, Abdullah Safar earned honorable mention for their work, and Julicia Alexander, Sphinx DeBons, and Alan Devong won gold keys in their work being displayed at the Mark Arts right now.
Asian Cultural Club held an event week for Lunar New Year. There was the crab dice game, lantern decorating, and a food fundraiser. The food fundraiser was on February 7th. They sold egg rolls, spam musubi, crab rangoon, fried rice, and more. This year is the year of the dragon.
In the last couple of weeks, the mama goats birthed 5 new baby goats. There are 4 boys, 1 girl, and 1 more on the way. They currently do not have any names yet, so if you have any ideas, talk to Miss Farmer.
The Starry Nights themed winter homecoming was on February 9th. This year's queen candidates were Eunice Lucci, Erica Guaro, Coney Dang, and Lee Zubrara. And king candidates were Raymond Gonzalez, Aaron Lake, Manuel Lozana, and Kai McNeil. The winner was Eunice and Kamai.
Now on to Cam with the sports.
Welcome back to Sportscast. I'm your sports anchor, Cameron Myers, and let's get straight into some winter sports highlights. Boys basketball is currently 10-7. They had a dominant win over North, 110-19, and also an overtime win against Northwest, 76-72. They also handed Heights, the top team in the state, their first loss of the season, 59-58. Preston Den had the game-winning free throw and ended the night with 13 points. Anthony Granger had 17 points, and DJ Brown added 13. Girls basketball is currently 8-9. They beat North in overtime 60-55. Alana Webb had 37 points and 10 steals, and Leela Jones had 10 points. Then they won against Northwest 42-33. Webb had 26 points, 6 steals, and 4 rebounds. Jones had 8 points, 5 steals, and 5 rebounds.
These puppies and baby bucks for their halftime performance and their routine.
The dance team held a Baby Buff dance clinic on February 5th for pre-K through 8th grade students. Then at the game against Northwest the next day, they got to perform at the halftime for the boys game. On February 3rd, boys wrestling headed to North for G-Wall championships. Damari Martin and Jamal Garrett both placed first, and Kafers Organi placed second. They will be heading back to North on the 16th and the 17th for regionals. At G-Wall, the girls wrestling had many medalists. Tanaya Hunt, Olivia Wilson, and Brooklyn all placed first. Summer Sath and Aaliyah Sath and Karen Gonzalez placed second. And Coach Rathman was named Coach of the Year. At regionals, Tanaya Hunt, Summer Sath, and Aaliyah Sath, Brooklyn Orange, and Diana Gonzalez all qualified for state. Bowling competed at the South Titan Match Play Invitational on February 1st, then a triangular versus Bishop Carroll and East on the 6th. And then they hosted their own invitational on the 9th at North Rock. The swim and dive team headed to Heights on February 3rd for G-Wall. For diving, Jeremy Johnson placed second and Henry Hover placed fourth. For swimming, Parker Rhea placed 10th in the 100-yard freestyle. Even though we've only had a diving team for a few years, we already have 2 state qualifiers. Reporter Giovanni Key takes you into the story.
Swimming has been going on at Southeast for 3 years now, and it looks like they are starting off good.
They've really been focusing on their technique and trying to really clean up their dives.
Here at Southeast, we have 2 high-ranked divers, Jeremy Johnson and Henry Hoover, both qualified for state.
A few years ago, we didn't even make it to state. Last year, Jeremy and Henry made it to state, but we didn't make finals. This year, we've got a really good shot at making finals.
Both Gaskill and the divers say they have improved a lot in the past few years.
We're all doing much better. We have 2 qualified for state, me and Henry, and then we'll be going to finals this year.
We've gotten a lot better, especially at like technique and stuff like that.
Gaskill says the improvement is due to the increase of experience on the team along with the increase.
So they started off really fresh. A lot of them were trampoline park kids that knew how to flip, so we had to teach them the style that we use here in diving. And so that took a little while to kind of change their techniques. But then now that they're kind of getting the hang of it, now we're just having to kind of clean it up for how diving is.
Coach also says that they have been working hard on new techniques.
They've really been focusing on their technique and trying to really clean up their dives. And then we have a lot of newer swimmers, so they've been having to work hard on learning a lot of the strokes and the different events that we have. And then our divers have probably the most experience on our team. And so a lot of them are learning a few new tricks, but for the most part, they are really just kind of cleaning up the dives that they already knew how to do.
The diving team has received the new technology to help them at their practice.
We got a little bit of equipment too this year. We got a TV on a stand with a little camera to where they can watch every single dive that they dive. So they can see the techniques that I'm talking about on each dive that they do.
The diving state final will take place in Topeka on February 15th through the 17th. For BTV, I'm Giovanni Key.
Thanks, Giovanni. That's all for Sportscast. Back to you, Will and Jack.
Thanks, Cam. That's all for this episode of BTV. We'll leave you with some sights and sounds from the winter homecoming.